Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dance of the Soul. And so, in this show, like we talk about every time we go on live, is that this is about our dance, the dance of our soul, and our soul goes through so much. And like I've been hearing so many people lately talk about how we have more than one life. Yes, but this life is important because of the fact that we're here now in this body. And so, even though we have many lifetimes, we really truly don't remember them, most of us, because of the fact that we're so immersed in our life now. But our soul goes through so many of them. And so, that's why we talked about the dance of the soul. And so, with that, I want you to know that this life that we're in right now with this physical body is important because this is the one that the soul is working on right now. And with that we're working so much on this, and people are kind of taking this life as I don't need to deal with this right now. But Regan Forsten, who does hypnotherapy, and he does much more than that. He does a lot of, work through counseling, hypnosis work through people with the traumas and the PSTs. And I hope I said that right because my dyslexia.
PTSD, that's good.
Okay. I always get those, and whatever those are, I get lost in them. So with Regan, I want to say that you are an amazing person. I'm grateful for you. You do so much wonderful work in helping people, and you have your whole life, even when you were dealing with anger, you were dealing with all those things. You did amazing work with helping and waking people up. And so with that, Regan and I are partnered up in this dance of the soul because we are in this teamwork of wanting people to know how important you are, because you are important. I'm Natasha Venter. I'm an intuitive medium personal awareness coach. I do a lot of work with emotions, soul work, past lives also, and navigating and how do we work through this life. I also do a lot of energy work with feng shui, clearing houses. Whatever cap I can put on at the time, that's what I do. And so with we have a lot of things that we both know. And sometimes, like Regan has a lot of the book smarts and navigation of life. I have a lot of navigation of life and not so much book smarts, but yet at the same time, though, I have a lot of lifetimes of smarts because my soul is so old. So is Regan's. But I remember a lot of my soul life. Remember a lot of those things. So with Regan, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm just so people know listening to this, see if they want to listen for the whole hour here. We always have interesting things we talk about from a soul level, and I'm actually on the board of the Newton Institute, and we've been doing afterlife research for about 40 years. And we've helped over 65,000 people that we help reach a deep state of trance or hypnosis. Relaxation is really what it is. Most everybody can reach that level. And we have a process we discovered, which is like magic, where everyone seems to have this ability to expand their awareness to the other side. While our clients spend several hours usually, poking around in the afterlife where they get to meet their loved ones that passed on, face to face. We can usually request that they go before a council. It's like about 6 or 8 or 10 Natashas up there that are coaching you,
Thank you.
and you can ask them questions about your life that you have prepared ahead of time. There's like 6 stations that we've kind of identified in our research so far. You can even request to go to a place to see what everybody does for fun up there. It's not everybody's just not playing harps for fun. We've discovered a lot of games and things and interaction with other souls. They have it's better than here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There. So anyway, we publish books that have sold over 1 million copies on the research. People doesn't matter who anybody is, they're always curious about what's going to happen when we're done here. But the thing is, as Natasha was saying, what we like to concentrate on, well, we're here now. This is where we have our attention. So let's find out how we can be the best we can be right here and now, and to, how to learn the lessons that we came down here to learn, So that's basically it. So today, is she in the waiting room yet there?
No, not yet, not yet.
Okay. I told her if she had trouble logging in, I might check with her in a minute. We'll do that. But we have a special guest today, which I'll introduce in a little bit. But let me talk to you about experience that I had this week, which was very unusual. A friend of mine got shingles recently. I just left his house, and oh my gosh, when Carrie, his mate, an old friend of mine, sent me pictures. She said, Regan, get this shingle shot for sure, because you don't want to go through what he's going through. I mean, he almost lost his eyesight because the shingles was over his eye. It looked like someone beat him up really bad, and it was very painful. It was really difficult for him. So I looked up shingle shot. Everybody's getting it. The chances of having shingles are very high among people over 50, I guess. And so I did the good thing, went down, had the shingle shot, and I just recovered today from that. It was I was sick for 4 days.
Oh,
I mean,
my.
I lost 8 pounds. I went, like from 163 to about 155 in 4 days. I think just losing fluids and everything.
Yeah.
And, so I was in bed.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah. So I don't know if the cure was worse than the disease, because I think shingles last a week or two, but I went
sometimes it can last longer. I know that
Yeah.
there's certain people that it depends on their. And Patti, I want you to know, we'll let you in just a second.
Oh, good. She's there.
That yes.
You're gonna love her. She's amazing.
I can already get that.
But,
and
yeah.
like my father-in-law has had it. I think actually my husband might have gotten it too, a little bit, a little bit of a rash here, but it took a little while to get it done, but oh man, I know it's painful. So, good job doing that, but it's amazing how, sometimes the injection are almost worse than the bite
Well,
of but it's all the personal dance of the inner body that says,
yeah.
and I should have told you that you ask the body to accept the things that come into you. So if we're getting something done, you really want to ask the body, body, like I go to do this when I go to the dentist. Body, we're going to be worked on. And if I get a shot in the, of Novocaine, please, because it usually takes me, 6 or 7 shots to get my body. It's weird how I'm very sensitive one part, and then the other part, it's almost like I'm saying no, 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 no. And so it's like I say, okay, let's receive things with grace and ease, gentleness. Body, let's do this. And I do this even taking my cat to the vet, like I did this last week. I say to her, this is going to happen gracefully and easily if you allow it. We're going to do this. You're going to come back. You're safe. You're in good hands. And so it's doing that with the body too. And a lot of times the let this come to my body, with my body, in my body, with grace and ease, with love and light, and just be what you're supposed to be for the body to protect my body.
Yeah.
From
with my body, when I was losing all that weight and losing all my fluids, wasn't it trying to get rid of, it was trying to get out of the body what it perceived as something that shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was curious about, I wonder if even the vaccine, if it got rid of the vaccine and now I'm not protected, or if it just got rid of the chemicals and the preservatives and the things that they had in there that were bad and maybe left the good stuff. I don't even know. But I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to, because you're supposed to get a second shot in 3 or 4 months. And I mean, that's going to be weird if I decide to get that or not. I don't know if it'll be, I don't know. But anyway,
I hear you, but I'm hearing that you're not on the list for COVID. You're not on the list for, so
Shingle.
Don't worry about that. Shingles, are you on the list? I'm hearing that you are on the edge of it.
Okay.
It's what you do with your stress, with your it's just keep the body. I don't want to say, it's that, keeping up on the C's, keeping up on the D's, it's keeping the routine of your body in a better narrative, I want to call it, especially if you go into stress. A lot of us, when we go into stress, we forget to take our vitamins.
Yeah.
That's the time you want to make sure.
Okay. Yeah, just keep up with the regimen.
Just keep up a regimen. And the more you focus on it, the less the more opportunity you're gonna have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, type of thing. So it's just one of those things that you're gonna. I feel like you're gonna skirt by it. You're good. Does he need a second shot? Your body's not going to enjoy it like the first one. That's a personal choice.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
That's what I'm getting. Your truth is your truth.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Okay.
just
Like right now, I'd say no, but I don't know. I just got over it, so we'll see what happens.
yeah, it's
Well, isn't that funny too? It's like, you go through this sickness and then your body gets healthy again, and then you go, oh, that was no big deal. But when you're in the middle of it, like 4 days of that, it's like it's a huge deal. But I guess it's like problems in life, as we're going through them, we think they're never going to end. It seems horrible, and then you get through that crisis, and you go, wow, I got through that.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and
Exactly.
I was trying to tell a client that was a bit suicidal this week, that look, I said, look how much you've been through already, and you've survived. And it says, look, you can do this, and the abuse is behind you now. In other words, the only abuse that's happening now is what you're replaying over and over in your mind. And when I tried to tell this person, and I said, look, you're safe now. The abuse is not happening now. And he said, yes, it is. And that just shows me how in the mind, when you're reliving these things in the mind, it's just as if it's still happening to you right now. Because people think, and that's why they tell people, oh, just get over it. You
No,
have
you can't.
abuse in your life, and hey, it's not happening to you now. So what are you crying about? What are you acting like, that this is happening to you now? So people have to you have to give people a lot of leeway there to go through, just like with grief, right? Like we keep talking about on the show, someone says, well, it's been a year since he died. Why are you still all upset about it? You've got to move on. It's everybody takes
life differently. Everybody takes something differently. And there is a little bit, just a snitch of truth to that, that did happen then. There's something about that it did happen then. But that's that part of the mind that I talk to myself. The language that I use myself is who's controlling who. So I tell my mind, you're a little bit overworked here. Can we take a seat back? And I actually picture my mind or my team, my whole team. And if my mind is standing up, I tell it to sit down, just like I tell my ego to sit down. It's like, sit down. We don't need to be in charge. Just sit down. And many of us go through those traumas. And I don't mean those words lightly at all. But they go through these traumas and they do replay, but there's a time when I almost picture it like a ticker tape that's going across the TV, the news that keeps going across, and it 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 keeps going. And so at some point in time, we have to say, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. And then what can we replace that ticker tape with? And sometimes it's just that I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. Whatever language you can tell yourself, kind of like when I was going through a scenario with a friend of mine, and I had to stop myself from going through the past history. And I said, stop. I love. And it was just that mantra. I just had to say something different than what my mind wanted to repeat in itself. And it's one of those things. So, Oren, and I apologize, Oren, if I don't say your name right. So let's see, Regan, if you don't mind.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Orion's in there too. Good. Yeah. So maybe I'll get some help from that.
Yeah. The first shot of COVID vaccine provides at least some protection.
Probably the same with the shingle shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably because they figured the full dose, it would be too much for the body. So it lets it, enter a little bit at a time that way. Thanks, Orion.
Yeah. Thank you, Orion. And I apologize for your name. Me and being dyslexic, sometimes that's why.
Yeah, that's a nice name. I love that name. It's like the constellation.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's amazing. Okay. Do you want to introduce Patti, please?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Who's been waiting so patiently for us to get to a point.
Natasha, you and I just had our first anniversary. We've been doing this for a year now. I can't believe it. We've done it like, I think 50 or 52 weeks. And it goes by so darn fast. And it just,
happy birthday to us.
Every time we do this, something comes up, and the people listening and the people that chiming in that, they've helped us too by their, comments and things. And it's good to know that we have some people that are watching every week, I just think about what I've learned from doing the show for the last year, and it's tremendous, what I've learned. Patti, who you'll let in just a minute, is my significant other. We just had our 7th anniversary on Saturday.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And there's a whole cool story about how we got together and met, and how, we talk about if we'd met each other even 10 years ago, we would have walked by each other, not even been ready for each other, that way. And I just thought, because we did have a guest today, she had to cancel. Unfortunately, she's in psychic school, and just beginning to explore her abilities, not necessarily to become a psychic like you, but just knowing that she knows more than she thought she did. And she's going to school to try to develop those that can help her in her life. And I did a session for her father, Life Between Life session for her father this week, A++. All the bells and whistles. This gentleman, he had so many questions answered. It was so beautiful. And when I do these sessions, and they get so much information, seeing loved ones, going before the council, visiting their soul group of souls that they incarnate with regularly, finding out why some people are currently in your life, why you chose this life.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. I'm so afflicted by that. But I think his session was about 5.5 hours long. So you just go, we let them stay there as long as they want, So Patti, today we thought, since it canceled, and she's a workhorse. If anybody knows Enneagram, she's an Enneagram 3. I always tell people, when I wake up in the morning, I look at the list of things she's done by the time I get up, and there's like 30 or 40 things she's already crossed out. I'm sleeping sometimes, and I can hear this as she's crossing off things on her list, and I know she's busy out there doing her thing. So yeah, let her in. And
hi, Patti.
Oh, I see her name there.
Yep.
Do you see her picture anywhere?
I do see her picture. She looks like she's frozen. Oh, there you are.
Hi. So
Uh-oh.
Nice to meet you finally, Natasha.
It's nice to meet you too. And I'm sorry that your Wi-Fi is a little bit off. If you can come a little closer to the house, it might be more helpful.
Yeah. She's out. We have her office outside right now, where we have her. I know what she could do. How about on her iPhone? Yeah, Patti. Yeah, because your video's not coming through. So maybe log in with your iPhone.
All right.
Yeah, she has an iPhone.
A little bit.
It's a little bit, but I think the Wi-Fi is kind of slow out there.
Yeah, so it's better.
Yeah, that is. So Orion said 2 things while we're getting her logistics. Thank you. Yes. And then he says the wireless gateway needs to be a reboot. Yes. Well, we're also going through Mercury in retrograde.
He knows this stuff.
Yeah. So Mercury in retrograde. So we're going through that, and that's coming in on the 21st. It's a full moon tonight, and we have the equinox coming up on the 22nd. So 2 days from now. So we're going through a big porthole, a big opening here, that a lot of things are happening. And so right now, that's why we've had up here in the Northwest some major windstorms to kind of blow some things out the door. And you guys had some tremendous heat, I heard. At least my friend down in California was saying that, or down further where I visited, that there was some major heat. And so
we've been lucky, where we are, it's not that bad. But I'm thinking let's see, as Patti moves around, let's see here. Hey, Patti, say something now, see if we can hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I'm thinking if she logs out and then logs back in with what?
See if that helps.
Yeah, if you can log out and then log back in with your iPhone and see if the connection's better.
There we go. Yeah. So with that we're going through some major shakeup. The planets are in. I mean, I'm not an astrologer by right of knowing all my stuff with astrology. I know enough to get in trouble, as the saying goes. And right now, our planets are shaking up a lot of things. That's why a lot of us are struggling with trying with feeling suicidal, and a lot of us are dealing with some heavy emotions. There's a lot of things that are going on where people are having to do some major movement in their life. Like this weekend, I helped a girlfriend clean out a room that she just shoved everything in, and she's by no means a hoarder, but yet at the same time she has hoarderish tendencies. And
Hmm.
so with that we brought everything out, and she's trying to get rid of 50% of what she had. Those kinds of things are what's happening right now. That, sadly, I'm sad when it happens for a fire, or when it's happening, with losing a job. But these life shifts, if we can say blessings are coming through these, blessings are coming with me with these, that it's amazing how, when we're working through and walking through these life altering experiences, and some of us are having three at one time, life altering. And for me, life altering experience is when our floor gets taken out from under us, when we go through something that is, like, even a session with you, a session with me could be a life altering experience, because we're not
Yeah.
the same after it. And that's what a life altering experience is. And I know that I've had many in my lifetime. And so with that when we do that, it's amazing how our world around us can shift. But when we're working through it, it's, what is this here to teach me? Let me walk through this with grace and ease. Let me move forward in this dance. And as we go forward, it's amazing. And if you want to, if you want to go talk with Patty, and have
Yeah.
her maybe come in the house, just in another room, and
Yeah, she could
and
do that with her iPhone, and then we'll see her. Yeah, I was thinking maybe you could talk. Well, talk for a minute here about some things, but I was thinking of all these people too, with all these fires going on, and all these people losing their houses and everything they
oh
own.
my gosh,
You know,
yes.
and how to put that in the bigger perspective of, in the bigger perspective, it's just stuff. Oh yeah, tell that to someone who just, the house burned down last weekend. How do people deal with that? Maybe what are they saying from the other side that's the reason for all these fires and that? You know,
Well, what they're saying, go
I'll
ahead.
be right back. And you could,
Yeah, what they're saying right now, and who I talk to is the universe of love. So when I talk to my team, it's Archangel Michael, Azrael, who's an angel of death, ultimate time. I work with the guides. I work with many, but they're all for the greater good of love. And as we work through, yes, I know. Okay, but I'm not going to go there. So there was somebody else who was saying that he speaks through it, but he's always for the love, and I'm not going to go there in this short conversation. So with that as we're going through things, they're saying that much of our land, much of our knowings, much of who we are is stuck energetically. Much of what we're going through, people do not want to change. They're creatures of habit. I'm a creature of my own habits. Going through those creature of habits gives us an opportunity to and doing some of the shifts gives us the ability to navigate through, seeing that if we can possibly go for the greater good. Many of us, like for me, my husband, he broke the window of our garage, and yes, it was something simple, but what we ended up having to do was move things that had been in one place for over 20 years. All those cobwebs in the garage, we had to move something that was 20 years of stagnation. And if that, I wish that I would have went out and moved those things before the window had to break. But sometimes life has to bring us forth, movement, and going through things in order to bring us forward, so that we can shift and change. And Orion, thank you very much for your input here. Pluto in a long transit through Capricorn, and Earth's changes makes sense with that. Yes. Yes, and we're actually going, this Mercury in retrograde is in Libra, and Libra energy is about balance. How to find balance, how to negotiate balance. This full moon is, I forget now what it's in Pisces, I think. So it's about, Pisces to me is the deep water fish. It's the ocean. You know, they're used to going through emotions, yet at the same time though, when they're not used to going through emotions, they're coming up river, and coming up the river is when they get vulnerable, and they don't like to be vulnerable. So with that we're going through a lot of navigation with a lot of different pushes, planetarial, and our soul selves are wanting a lot of change going on. If you've done a lot of work, Regan, that a lot of the souls that go into your life between lives, and I know me working through a lot of people with shame, that they are trying, they're having to break through a lot of old patterns.
Yeah.
And their souls are asking them, please let go of a lot of crumb stuff so that we can move through into the better and greater stuff. And Orion says, yes, Pisces. So I was talking about the planets and all that kind of stuff. So let's try to get Patti in again.
Okay.
I think she
She
stepped
brought
away.
everything indoors. It was great.
Yeah, so we'll let you get seated, Patti. Let's see. I haven't looked up the degree of the full moon, but it's probably close to Neptune. Yes, there's a lot of planets there that they're squaring, and they're. I know the name of it. I listen to an astrologer in the morning on Mondays and Fridays, and I wish I would remember all the language. But there again, me being dyslexic, sometimes I have a hard time holding on to information that is not inputted from my soul walk. So thank you, Patti, for your patience. And I'm so grateful that you're here.
I'm so glad to be here.
She did it.
I did it. I'm sitting on the floor in the dressing room. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and let's see, Ryan, right on my Mars and opposite of my Pluto. LOL. Yes, so we're getting a lot of pushes. So Patti, it is so good to finally meet you.
Yeah, exactly. I hear all about it every week, and what a commitment! Like to do that for you two to be that committed to doing it every week. It's great.
I'm grateful that you're allowing, or that you. I can see this intuitively, and thank you for coming on, and I hope that I have permission to look, because I usually don't have. Okay, so with that I don't look unless I have permission, but you two, I'm grateful that you give each other space and breath, and so many relationships don't give each other space and breath, and that's the gift that when we get a little bit older, we kind of figure that out, that it's like my husband, he goes hunting, bye, see you later, I'm glad you're going hunting. It's not that it's wrong or right. He goes golfing. Bye, see ya. I went to help a girlfriend. Bye, see ya. It's like there's that gift, but it's always that coming together again to rebuild whatever we're doing. So good job, guys.
Yeah. Well, we're both really independent, and we also, there's that foundation of trust already there. So when it's like, bye, see ya, like neither have to kind of wonder why, and is there something else going on,
Exactly. And that's what I know for my husband and I, that even though he was an alcoholic, even though he did a lot of that, I didn't have to, I knew that no matter what happened with him, I'd be okay. Yeah. So, it's one of those things that, even though I know at one point he had a kind of a social time when he was further away because of a splitting, but at the same time though, he didn't do it. And I know, there's just part of me that knows, but being intuitive helps.
Yeah, we're good at giving each other space. It's funny because even our bedtimes are different. Like I go to bed 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 or something. Sometimes she's just getting up to start the day. So it's just like saying, "Hey, how you doing?" And she's saying, "Good night."
Well, that really helps, because we don't get on each other's nerves, because I'm getting up for the day a lot of times, and he's going to bed most of the time.
Yeah.
I get it.
So we each have our, like at night, I have my quiet time, and, maybe that's even we have to have a whole session on sometimes about how important it is that every person needs their space. You can't be too codependent on somebody, because that's not healthy. Everybody needs some alone time. They need together time, and everybody needs to figure that out in a relationship so that people can, fully integrate, well into the relationship. I asked Patti to come on today because she does so many interesting things. And we're she's trying to bring awareness. She's on I'm on the board of the Newton Institute. She's on the board of I want to say She Fund, is it called, Patti?
She found. Yeah, I'm
Say that
actually on
again?
2 boards,
Yeah.
and, I just feel like it's time to give back, and, one of them is they're both fascinating, but one of them is where we're funding girls from Kenya, from the Maasai tribe, and we're funding them through college, living expenses and all that. Um, so saving them from early marriage and FGM. So
Mhm.
at
And
8 or 9 years old, maybe 12, they would have gotten vaginally mutilated and
Mhm.
married, let's call it sold, to a guy who's maybe 40, and
Mhm.
they be the third wife. And that's it. No education. There's your life. So
yeah,
I
I could not imagine. I'm so sad that women of the world, because this is just one
one little
spot.
piece.
I know it's happening over in India and
Yeah,
a lot of the Canada, U.S., Japan, the
yeah,
Orient. That I mean, it's happening everywhere.
it's like
everywhere.
it's like a subject people don't want to discuss, but Patti and her group of just beautiful women there are trying to just bring awareness. Even I looked up and there's like 50,000 cases of female mutil. I always have our
Yeah.
uh,
But the thing is,
genital mutilation in the
yeah,
United States even a year.
yeah. And oh yeah, it happens here too. But here's the thing, like what's really cool about it is a friend of mine started a rescue center. So, and it's kind of a surprise when the ceremony happens. So she rescues them, and then like some from age 8 to 18, they're in this center. They go to high school, and they're living there, and they're all living together. But basically, unless you are educated in college, you're just going to go back to your tribe, and it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So what's really cool about this, like this could be a family of 13, a family of 8. The father makes the decision. The father is going, the girls get educated. They go back to their families, and there's a reunification ceremony at some point, but they go back to their families, and they're looked to as the one where they're asked questions, the one of knowledge, of peace, and
So they
then
become the elder.
you're the
I
elder
call it
Yeah,
the eldership. It's
eldership.
yeah, they become the elder of the family because
Yes,
of their knowledge. And eldership means
yes,
knowledge to me. When I use
yes,
the word
same.
elder to younger, it's just the path. I've known 3-year-olds that are elders. It's because they come as an old soul. They come in as a knower and that kind of thing. So with that
Yeah.
they become elders of their tribe because of who they are.
Exactly.
yeah,
And then the father says, wait a second, this is amazing. Because these choices are made for financial choices. That's what it is. And he's going, hey, I'm going to have my younger daughters go through this also. So the culture changes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. It's
yeah.
not just,
Isn't it?
oh, enter to college.
Isn't it against? They've kind of made it against the law in that
Yeah,
country
it's
to do that,
legal.
but people still do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was legal up until I think 2016. And a friend of mine was the for the country of Kenya. She got UN Person of the Year at one point. And for the
She's
country of Kenya, she's in charge of FGM and made it illegal. And I mean, it still
Mm.
happens, but not as much. And the culture's changing, so it's beautiful to like have such a good turnout for everyone.
Yeah, when it's this embedded in a culture, it does take almost a generation for things to change. But it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one family at a time. It's one
yeah,
father, it's one mother at a time because it's amazing how many mothers hold down hold down their child to
I
have this
know.
done, even though the mother knows and the sister
yeah,
and the aunts know what pain this child is going to go through.
Well,
And
also
but
part of what
because these minds are so buffaloed into believing that this is the way it is.
Yeah. Well, part of it is no man would want you unless it's like that. So they're
Hmm.
helping her because if you don't have a man that wants you, you have nothing, and then you are really desolate. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
there's no jobs. They live off the land. So,
Mhm.
kill a goat or have some dinner, or maybe, So that's really what's going on too.
Yeah. So is
And
it,
now
Yeah.
there's another way out, and that becomes
yeah.
easier.
So what Patty's doing is raising awareness in that way. And what Natasha and I, what you and I, Natasha, are doing is all about raising awareness. It's just different categories, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. We're
you
doing
Yeah.
good
know,
in the world. Yeah.
because even what I'll tell you, like even Natasha, I'm so glad to meet you, and you've helped me many ways so far. With just the little insights you give and everything. So I've become a total believer in mediums. I think the thing that I think keeps most people that kept me from believing in mediums for a while is that there's so many charlatans out there that give it a bad name. The ones that are just like there's TV shows done about that, about how they know exactly how they're going to take all your money and make you vulnerable and all that. And
Mhm.
it kind of ruins it that way, for people. So it's good to have shows like this to show people, and you have clients that have been with you for years, and I'm certainly going to be one for years. And uh, and Patti too. We were before we go, we have to give Patti that website or something in case people want to ever donate if they see this in the future or something.
Please,
Uh,
please, please.
yeah, well, because these women are doing great things. I think Catty, the story is very interesting behind the woman who started this. She and Patti knows more than me, and but I get this picture in my mind. Here's this African woman that wants to stop this so badly. She's created a giant vagina that she would carry from village to village, and she would carry that giant
What a
vagina
blessing
with
she
her.
is.
And when she would see little girls, she would say, "Okay, this is what's going to happen to you. So when you know this is going to happen, you run away to here." And she saved so many girls, and she's got funding for the school. It's just it make a great movie of the week for sure, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I give so many there, this planet of ours, there's people who do the work like you and I do, Regan, where one person at a time, one moment at a time, 1 hour at a time. And then there's people that come in and move the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's some people that don't move the world, and that's not what they're calling. We each have a calling, and for those that can be the calling in this world, I'm just so impressed that they have the strength to do that.
Yeah.
Me too.
The calling to do that. You know, the Mother Teresa's, the saint, the popes, it's like male, woman, it does, whoever it is, black, white, purple, I don't care.
She's
Thank
a
you.
force. She's a force to deal with over there. You know how she can go into families and just take their children and say, "You're not doing this." Put them in schools and that. And Patti, what's the website if they wanted to donate? How does that
Well,
work?
it's called the She College Fund, like SHE. So it's Safe House Education Fund. But if
Okay,
you
so
say She Fund, it'll show up.
so SHEFUND,
I think
all
so.
one word.
I think so. But if you just Google like She College Fund, it's going to show up. It's the She
Okay,
Fund.
She College Fund. Okay, and then they can donate to that.
You can
Okay.
donate to that. And then the other thing that I was really moving to me to want to get involved is that you have a one-on-one relationship with this girl for 4 years, forever. But
Yeah, she's
for
like a
some people,
daughter.
that's not really interesting. So you can just donate money and you're going to save a life and then the lives of the rest of the family. And it's kind of
Yeah.
amazing.
So that's what's neat because I know Patty's had FaceTime with her. They've gotten to be friends. And so your donation, you actually see the person. Okay, we have it up there. She College Fund.
See this for the calling.
Yeah,
So whatever, I just want to put it down so that people can see this,
thanks.
because sometimes when we speak it, I don't know if you can see it. It's She College Fund. And so if you just Google
Okay.
that, Google She College Fund is what you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, thanks, Patti, for telling us about now. The other thing I was hoping that you could maybe help Patti with, she's she's having the best year in real estate that ever. And her homes that she's been selling have been going for, she's like, I call her a loving pit bull.
True. It's true.
Because
I can see that.
when you see her negotiate, I mean, she knows how to negotiate. She knows how to get the seller the best price, and the sellers are always happy because a lot of them, they're moving out of state or it's their retirement or something, and they need everything they can. She's good about that. But now she knows, we're all getting older, that eventually there's going to be time when it's time to do something else. And she's such a doer person, and she's
Yeah,
worried
I don't
about,
see
like,
you stopping.
what am I going to
No.
do? You know,
I
do you
know.
get
No.
any?
Yeah, it's a little bit about managing stress too. As you age, like stress is different hormonally. So I don't know how to do it. Like I'm not going to just stop. I'm looking at you, Natasha. Like I'm not going to stop, but I want to be able to manage it. And how do I do that and have a more calm, peaceful life? How to like be in more beingness than doing this, which is a challenge anyway for 3, but type Enneagram 3. But
Yeah.
like, what is it? How am I going to do it? And more though, it's coming to me. But anyway, and I'm
Yeah.
buying a
So,
house on the beach, which is
what's
going to
that?
help. I'm buying a house on the beach,
Yes.
and so that's going to help.
Yes.
But anyway,
Yes.
so yeah,
No, no, no.
yeah.
So what I would suggest for you, because you are that A personality, the goer, the doer. So when you're in a moment, whatever it is, and let's say you have like a couple that's looking around the house, and you have a moment to sit, to ask yourself to be an observer.
Oh,
Be an observer. You're sitting in the office doing paperwork, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, time to practice being an observer. And you just it takes a second, it takes a moment.
really
But
good.
be an observer, and it's not necessarily that you're being judgmental about what's going on, but
Right.
you start noticing, oh, cute shoes. Oh, looks handsome today. Okay. So you start shifting the mind. You practice the mind. It's not about doing right or wrong. It's about practicing the mind. And this is how a lot of people, when you start shifting out of doing something, like you're telling your mind to stop thinking about something, you
Yeah,
have to start giving it something else to do.
yeah.
Okay. And
Like third eye. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So start practicing being an observer. And then after you've done this for, let's say, if you feel like you're doing this well, then start stepping into doing this when you're busy. Busy-er. So
Yeah,
like let's say when you're in the middle of doing dishes, or you're in the middle of having to send an email.
yeah.
You know, or you're in the middle of having a conversation and you ask a part of yourself to observe the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Does
like
that
it.
make sense?
You're saying that to
Yes.
so it helps to calm down the stress level by being
What it does is it starts you from doing to being, because being
Oh.
is the state of observation.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
it's
Being is
funny.
a state of allowment to see what's going on in the world.
Yeah, because when we're out, when she's trying to decompress from a really crazy day, she turns into the an A+ observer. I mean, we're in a restaurant, and she can. It's like she sees everybody coming in. She knows she becomes an observer, and I think that's maybe a natural part of her that's trying to just become that. Like,
And that's why this conversation is coming up, because it's not necessarily it's not doing it as a last result. It's doing it in the moments.
In the moment.
It's
Gotcha.
being interactive with it instead of having to be reactive and, okay, I'm there now, I have to be the observer to slow down. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah. Oh yeah, like observing from the third eye.
Yes, exactly. As I actually use it as my soul let me observe. So I'm sometimes when I'm talking with somebody, like right now, I'll show you that right now I have a part of me that's outside observing what's going on. And I'm seeing kind of what's conversation. So I'm hearing
Ooh.
that I am starting to overtalk this conversation. So I'm going to step back a little bit.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, I see. Because it's like Patty's out there in the middle of all the stress, and then she reminds herself, and she goes, "Wow, it's so beautiful out here," or "There's a deer going by," or something. Just
Mhm.
and then goes back into what she's doing. So you kind of break up that stress or something.
Exactly. And so I would practice doing this, like when you first wake up in the morning. Oh, I'm breathing. Oh,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? You observe, because like my husband, I swear he can go from snoring to sitting straight up and getting dressed
Yeah.
in just 30, and not even 30 seconds. And I'm
Yeah.
like going, how do you do that? My body goes, hell no, you're not moving yet. I'm like Regan. I'm not. I'm more of a night
I'm
person.
doing that too. Yeah.
But it's that taking the observer moment in parts of our lives, step 1, step 2, step 3, so that it's not like you're doing it in step 1, step 80.
Yeah. I totally get it. I totally
Yeah.
get it.
And then that's going to practice you out. Now, what I see you doing as you were working on this, I see you always doing some kind of real estate.
Yes.
You enjoy it too much.
Yep.
You enjoy it too much. But I'm going to say, though, that you're going to start, and probably in the next year or two, and I mean this with love, and it's not a judgment, but there's certain clients that you've taken on because they are somebody that comes to you that you might have chosen to move off onto someone else, not
Yeah.
be, and these people would
That's
work
what's-
better with someone else, but you chose to keep them.
Yeah.
So you're going to start observing how certain people might work better with this other real estate person.
Yep.
Does that, so with
and
that,
I'll still get a referral fee, and I'll be, that's how yes, exactly.
so with that I see you doing that, there's going to be certain people that you just click with, and you're meant to work with them. And it's not right or wrong. This is not about right or wrong or indifferent to who's better or not. I mean, I work better with certain people and not with certain people. Like when I've done, fairs, intuitive fairs, if I've been the first table, I say, trust who you go to, because there's somebody that has information for you, and if it wasn't me, it wasn't meant to be me. So with that's how you're going to start navigating I see you being part of a group and still doing real estate for a very long time. Now, your 2 groups that you're with, you're going to start noticing when you start feeling uncomfortable sitting in the chair dealing with these meetings, that's the time to move out. It's not that you care less about them.
Yeah.
That's the time. And then I feel like you're going to end up doing one far away and one more local.
What's that? One far away what?
One far away, kind of like what she's doing with the women of Kenya.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be one more local.
I'm on the president of the board of another one that's local.
Okay. So I love synchronicity and how things, but I feel like those things are going to shift a little bit. So you're going to go smaller in the ones that you're with.
Yeah, I know. I think so.
Okay. You're going to step out. So you might not be on the board, but you'll be a supporting role of stepping in when somebody can't be there. And then you're going to start stepping back with being maybe, if there's a fundraiser, you just kind of help run the fundraiser.
I don't do much. I really don't do anything on this. On these,
Okay.
I don't do much as it is because I don't have the bandwidth. It's all real estate. But I see myself.
But I'm talking to you as things come forward, because you're always going to have something that replaces something. You're just that type of person. So what I'm asking you to do is that as you're doing this, that you're going to find that you're going to want to, as one goes away, you're going to want to jump in. But that it's just that movement of just saying, as I step back, and it's not necessarily that you're going to stop being an A person, but you're going to have something to replace it. So what do? Maybe now that you're going to buy the house by the beach, that you'll start walking on the beach instead of making your first phone calls.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're replacing something with something. You cannot go dead. You cannot go cold turkey. It will actually make you sicker. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So with that personalities have to take time to rest, yes, but they cannot go cold turkey with you have to kind of start that. Remember how I told you about being an observer in moments, that you're not reacting to it, you're interacting with it. And as you do that, that will help you shift into this next stage of your life. And the hormonals and all those kinds of things, that's probably just going to be it's just the reality of shifting through them. Being a woman, I understand that as we go through this, men too go through this, that as we go through this moment, it is just about respecting the body.
Yeah.
If the body needs to stop, like for me, I took the 10 minutes before I came on and just kind of put my head back on the couch because my body said, stop.
Yes. I can't handle stress like I did before. I
Mm-mm.
don't want to anymore. I can't.
And we all can't. We all
Yeah.
can't. There's so much stress out in the world that is palatable. We
Yeah.
can taste it, we can feel it, and negotiate it, and it's not all ours, but yet it's all ours.
Exactly.
Yeah. How lucky do you know? Patty's a manifester, and I've just seen her manifest things. It's unbelievable. And she's trying to manifest this place on the beach now. I mean, right now there's no places that are up for sale where she knows she wants it, but she just knows it's going to happen. But
It's going,
what do you?
it's going to, and it's going to be, and luckily you're in the business because it's going to come up quietly.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it through the word of
I'm
mouth
already in touch. Yes.
yeah, because because of the fact that the people enjoy your integrity. So they know what you're gonna I almost feel like you're selling a house right around there, and then you start people start hearing who you are, and they like your integrity. There's something about there's synchronicity that kind of comes in.
Yes. Well, the integrity part too is this past weekend I did a personalized letter addressed to them, hand signed, hand addressed with a real stamp on it to every single owner there. Put it in the mail today. So
Mhm.
that's like, it's not my area down there, but when people look at my reviews online, they get integrity. So
Mhm.
that's where, and I said, this is a sincere and honest request. I'm not fishing for a listing. So something's going to come out of that.
oh, that's good that you said that. See,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, no, that's how I do it. Yeah.
we're going to go down
Yeah,
there.
it's not because of it, but it's going to be reaction. It's going to be the thread. There's something about thread. One thing leads to another. Like there's somebody who knows who maybe got the letter that knows of somebody who's selling. It's that kind of. But I feel like it's going to come through another real estate person.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to call that guy back. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's going to come through another real estate person, and they like your integrity, and they hear of somebody that's going to be doing something. That's the thread that I feel it's coming through. It's not coming through something that you're doing personally, but it's your personal walk that is helping this negotiation to come forward.
Like she's doing the proper steps to get this to manifest. Then.
Yeah, because the people who are going to sell the house don't want to sell it.
Ooh.
They know that they have to get out, but they don't want to sell it because they love the house so much that it's like unless somebody can come in and respect it, they don't want to sell it. So you having integrity and having care and the world, that kind of thing, that will help out.
Oh, good to know, huh? That's good. That's because I think when people talk to medium, they're always hoping that they hear what they want to hear in a way, and it's so hard to hear what you don't want to hear. So it's
Yeah,
good.
no, it's not going to come exactly when you think.
Okay.
It's going to
Well,
come.
that's cool.
It's going to come. You're going to actually be distracted, and it's going to come out of the blue.
Yes, I let it go. I just always let it go, and I trust and know that it's going to come at the right time at the right place.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be. I'm checking in with time. The time is kind of tricky because of the people who are leaving, and so they're kind of pushing the line when they have to leave a little bit more because they don't want to. They're trying to figure out, can I rent it? Can I do this? Can I do that? And so they're trying to move. They're trying to move it out. So. I'm checking in Thanksgiving time, Christmas time. Yeah, might be happening. There's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of emotional movement during that time in between around Thanksgiving to the holidays of a lot of personal movement. I hope everybody can know that it's just going to be a movement.
Yeah.
Move with it, move through it. So there's a big
This
energy
is
shift.
great. Yeah. This is great.
So now remember, I'm only seeing the future as it is now.
Yeah.
Okay. But a lot of it is going to be that the way that you two shift will help this shift to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means that sit down and enjoy your coffee without making a list while you're drinking your coffee.
Yeah, she's
called that one, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah. So there again, start being in the moment instead of doing the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So there again, it's being an observer to what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm starting out the day stressful already.
Mm-hmm. And Natasha, before I lose the thought, you get any hits on why Patti is such an ocean person? I mean, it's like I feel wherever
Mermaid lifetime.
it's what
You were mermaid.
Mermaid. Woo!
Yeah, you were a mermaid in a past life.
Oh,
You were very much in the elementals. I consider in my language that Sasquatch and mermaids and dragons, they're all elementals in that category of somebody in another dimension. And so you have kinship there. And
huh.
your soul personality, though, is a lot who you are this lifetime. You know, your soul is pretty much an A personality. So even when you were a mermaid, you were still a goer and a doer.
Yeah.
Okay. And so with that, there's been times where you had to in a past life, you actually had no movement of your body in one past life, and you had to learn how to um stay busy, not by doing but by being. So if you can tap back into that lifetime
Mm.
and not necessarily experience the woes and the oh no's of it, but go into that, oh, I remember how to be calm. It's kind of like for me, I had a schizophrenic past life, so I've brought that schizophrenic self come
And
to my
using it.
round table because I believe I have a round table of my guides that sit at because nobody's more important than another, and my schizophrenic self is one that's helped me to multitask. In other words, I can do a reading in the middle of the lunchroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things that as we go forward, that if we tap into that past life for the strength, like Regan was an he was a shaman at one time.
I
So
believe
that's why
that.
he has that gracefulness
Yeah.
that he's finally gotten in his life, that he had to go. And actually his when he was a shaman, he actually went through, you know, like when you're brave being a native
Yeah.
First Nation, that you were a rebel brave, but then when you became out of that stage, you came into your ownership of who you are. So Regan, that's kind of your pattern history, you
Yeah.
know, that you kind of have that rebelness. You have to get out the rebelness in each life to be able to move forward.
Yeah.
And with you, Patti, that yours is just, but it's that going back to your body. Are you taking care of your adrenals?
Yeah, no, that I think that just now, um, I am the healthiest person, but just now things are showing up. This is the most stressful year of my life. Not
Mhm.
that a personal stress, but just the level that I'm playing at.
Of energy that you have to produce. Yeah.
Yes, and at this age, that level of stress is not, you know, it's just unbelievable, actually, even to me, how I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
so I would, and for anybody that knows adrenals, I'm seeing a lot of people with adrenal problems, and yes, it's probably because it brought my awareness up of mine. That adrenals are kind of like our battery alternator of a car,
Hmm.
and without their strength, our other organs start to navigate. And what our adrenals do is when they get in fear and flight mode, or they get triggered on because of stress level, they don't know how to balance and shut down. So
Yeah,
I would take something to support your adrenals,
I
or
am.
okay, just
But
because.
really, like I am, but rather than that, go back to what you're talking about is just slow down.
Mhm.
Stop it already, you know?
But life is life, and
Yeah.
even though we don't maybe have a lot of stress out there, but our the energy is out there, and that energy of go 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 is out there. And so with that if we can just support our bodies a little bit differently,
Yeah.
there would be more grace. There would be more
Love that.
grace because
So I have a question for you that,
sure.
that triggers that whole thing, right? So I am healthy, don't even get colds rarely. So I
Hmm.
had 2 weeks ago had like a bladder infection. I just knew that. It was obvious, right? And I had a chiropractic appointment. So I was like, oh, I didn't even think about it. She's a she's a naturopath, and I get that supplements from her. So I
Yeah,
said, oh, I
good,
didn't
good.
even
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Like, I have this bladder infection. So she does muscle testing, and she's like, oh, what does that mean? She goes, you had COVID. And I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, I know that I have a bladder infection right now. I just know that. But she said, no, in the past 18 months, you had COVID sometime. And that's when I'm like, what's your intuitive hit on that?
I'm not going to dishonor what she said.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm getting, I'm going to ask your personal guides. Okay, so what I got is that you had I don't want to call it COVID, but you had a strain of an illness that hit you. It was not COVID. I'm not going to call it COVID. A lot of people are putting things underneath the umbrella of COVID when they're not. We have a lot of different strains of illnesses out there. And with that you got that strain, I wouldn't call it, it was like, it was, I don't want to call it a cold flu, but it was in that cold flu strain that you got. I'm not going to attach it to the word COVID. I'm hearing you didn't have COVID, but you had something that had, like COVID has some of the signatures of flu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you had some of the same signatures that engaged with that. And since your body is an A personality, it's going to still want to pump and go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where when we notice that our body is starting to get, like for me, my liver started saying, do not eat things with vinegar. Don't eat things with tomatoes. Don't eat, don't eat corn. So with that, my body was starting to say, don't eat that. My liver and my gallbladder were saying that, but it's because my adrenals, my bladder and my gallbladder and my liver were trying to support my adrenals.
Oh God, I get you. I get you.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying is that there's something that is out of balance.
Yeah.
And so if you can start doing things to support, like your bees, some kind of adrenal, or iodine, a lot of women don't get enough iodine.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't get enough iodine. And so with that, doing those things that support our thyroid and iodine, that if we can do those things to support those things that are our gasoline in our body, our fuel, our triggers, like our adrenals are almost like our alternator that triggers the battery to start.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And if we don't have the sharp trigger, we start going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where our body starts taxing on the energy. And that's what I'm feeling like for you. It's not wrong or right what she said. I'm not going to argue with that, but you did have something that your body was telling you, look at me.
Yeah. Well, a month
Look at
ago,
me.
I did have some, not this gallbladder thing, but a month ago, I was like,
Mhm.
this is weird. It's the middle of August and Google symptoms of COVID. It was like, wasn't those symptoms, but it was something. And I was like, how do you get like a cold or a flu in the middle of August? So I took a nap for 2 hours one day. So that was fine. Anyway, but yeah, I know I need to take care of me more.
Mhm. So that's where what I'm going to ask you to start doing is that those clients that you have that core, you're very intuitive about things. You're being the manifester that will work better with somebody else. Start asking them to shift off. You're not going to be lessening your integrity. You're not going to be lessening your value ship, I'm going to call it, by doing this. Because it's going to be maybe 1 out of 7 that you're going to do.
Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And it's just that thing about it's not necessarily slowing down, but knowing that you can only do so much.
Yeah.
And the balance about taking care of self is being able to say no and no with kindness. And that's where saying, you know what? I really want to work with you, but your personality and this other person's personality, I really see you working well together.
It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. And that's like letting go and trusting. Because
Exactly. Exactly.
that's giving up $30,000 potentially, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I would. That's what I said. It's not gonna. It's not gonna say anything less than your value ship.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I get it.
You have value. You have value. It's just finding that balance between, okay, this person will make me run another hour or two in my day. Is that hour and two worth the 30,000?
Yeah, exactly. Now these days it's like I can release more than I could. Oh, in the past I couldn't give up anything.
Yeah. So I want you to start looking at what your value ship is.
Okay.
What is your value ship? Is it about the client? So is it about the clients you're helping, or is it about and I know it's about money too. I'm not trying to dishonor that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you have to have money to live. I get that. But finding where is the scale on why you have to have every client.
Yeah.
What is the reason? Is it because your parents told you had to do everything? Is it because of the patterns that you've created in your life? Is it because your personal value system? That's one thing about changing from working to retirement is our value. Our self-value has to go through a reevaluation. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of people struggle with that. Women, I have an understanding by witnessing, can handle it a little bit different than men can. Men struggle with the value ship of when they retire, and because that they've been lovingly said, Regan, that you guys have had to go through generations of this is what you do for your life. And now that's starting to change a little bit, but not soon enough for people who are retiring.
Yeah.
You have to replace something with something. You have to replace that. And I would even say that for my husband who quit drinking. He had to replace something with something. He just couldn't go to cold turkey. That's almost suicide in a way. You have to replace something, but it's starting from here to here. Like I tell people, if they want to quit smoking, wait 10 seconds after you eat. Wait the next one. Wait 30 seconds. The next one. Wait a minute. Next one, wait, so you kind of start working your way out of it. So you replace, instead of smoking, I'll get up and do the dishes. So you're replacing that interaction with something.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
It's really good. Thank you. Thank you.
Your grandfather's very proud of you.
Oh, I can't believe you did
Is he
that.
there now again?
Yeah.
Is he there now again?
Right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you actually got your work ethic from him. At least that's what he's telling me.
Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, because I just realized like he was for the town. It was, old school stuff. So he was the real estate broker, the insurance broker, and eventually superintendent of schools.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, but I never thought he was a worker, but you kind of have to be with all that.
Yeah, you have to have that A personality.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's saying that this girl is telling some truth, that he doesn't want you to wear your body down as your body's already telling you to slow down. He wants you to live those 2 years that if you don't slow down now, will be 2 years later.
Wow.
How you treat your body when you're younger is how you're going to feel older, right?
Yeah.
So now your shorter term, how you treat your body now is how you're going to feel.
It's true. Damn.
Okay. I know.
So her and her grandfather, did you pick up where they've been together in other lifetimes before, what their relationship was?
Oh, I always think of people in my inner circle as like rings of a tree. So you and your grandfather have been in the closer rings of the center of the tree. You're in a tighter being of, so like my dad and I, we were in like the very core center. So we were each other's soulmate, we were soulmates, my dad and I. Now my mom, we're in like a couple rings out.
Yeah,
you know?
same. Yeah.
And then like my girlfriend Gina, she and I are in another ring out from my mom. you know my husband and I were kind of in the same ring as my dad, my mom and I, you know what I mean? So that there's rings, so your grandfather and you have been in the same ring ship.
Yes. What about my
That you're
dad? Like
about,
I
you're
told
about 3 or 4, you're about the 3 or 4 year lifetime of a ring of a tree. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, my dad, I would think that we would be like that. I don't know what you see
Yeah.
there.
What was his name again?
Jack. Well, they're both named Jack, both of those
Okay.
two. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
Jack.
actually all three of you. You're very much um
Mm.
and you have a daughter, right?
I have one son. I was going to
One
ask you about
son.
him too. 23.
Where's the daughter come in?
Well, stepdaughter, maybe.
Because you're very close. You have another one that's very close that's a daughter feeling, that's in the same soul family. You're doing different work this lifetime, so it doesn't feel so close, but you're doing
Mhm.
different work this lifetime
It's
together.
funny,
You're doing personal, yeah. You're doing personal experience work, so you're learning from each other quite a bit.
my yeah. Well, it's funny because the three of my stepdaughters feel like Patty's their second mom or something.
Hmm.
They like coming here because they just like to have conversations with her. They just feel
There's
good
one
about
that's kind of got the star on top of her head. No more important than the others.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one that you just find that communion with a little bit differently, but you almost are too much alike in a way, so you struggle a little bit. But at the same time, you find that communion together. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, it could also be my niece who,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and she's like, she was 3 years old, and we were just boom.
Yeah.
I felt like
There's a woman who feels like a daughter to me that you have communion with, that's in
yeah,
the same ring. This lifetime you're not as smooth as you normally would be, because you're learning some personal experiences from each other,
mm,
so that they're a little bit more tug and pull, even though you just like you cannot get enough of each other. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Well,
I barely see her, but yeah,
that could be
she's
your
moving
niece.
out here to work for Google in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's only 26. She's a rock
Wow.
star. I know.
Yeah, so with that you're doing a great job, but it's that practice to do different. It's the
So I
practice.
got to ask you, make sure the door's shut. What do I need to know about my son? Like to guide him, to help him to have a better relationship. Um, is he in my soul group? It's interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
he's 23, so I don't know.
yeah, no, you need to let the gas off with him.
Yeah. Stop worrying about it.
Let the
Okay.
gas off.
Right.
He's in this moment where the only thing I would ask you to do is keep repeating something that shows self-value. Did
Like,
you know that you were made just being special? And it doesn't matter what you do, who you are, just you're special.
yeah. He
You know,
needs
those little things that say, you know what, you're perfectly imperfect and you're just learning right now.
yeah.
I want you to trust who you are. You're just beginning your life. Don't worry. It'll all work out. Those little key words that trigger something of self-value,
Yeah.
and let him know. But nothing, I mean, yes, there's personal love boundaries, like, like if, he's going to come and stay for a while. Okay, you have 3 weeks, but, at the same time, though, being careful about that self-value piece,
Really good.
oh,
That's so right on.
it's like, I think it's time for you to find some personal experiences right now. I think you've got it. I think you've got it. I think that you may not know everything right now, but there's a part of you that knows what to do. So trust it. And I think you can go out and get what you need. Because I know it. I made you that way. I
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
He's trying in a way to follow in your footsteps. He puts you on a pedestal. You need to have him take you off the pedestal.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And because when he does that, he can start living his life.
Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, even if you just think of Enneagram, he's a 4 with a 3. Do you know how hard it is to have a 3 mom? Like, yeah.
So
So
it's that part of it's just that part of just that walk, and this is what because I have a child that I or people that I end up doing this, I just pat him on the back. You're doing a good job today. Perfectly imperfect, but you're doing a great job. And I walk out the door. You know what I mean? I don't let any conversation come around it. I just let the seed plop and I move on. And I don't do it consistently so that it seems like I'm trying to do it.
Right.
I let the moment be what it's there again, be what it's to be. And I wish more people would do this with our friends. I do this with teachers walking by. You're doing a great job. I see you trying and you're doing a great job. And I keep walking.
Yeah.
And people go, oh God, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to do a little bit different myself today. So, like taking yourself off the pedestal. You know what? I'm learning how to do something different today. And I'm not doing it very well, but I'm trying.
That is.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm moving forward. Does that make sense? Not hitting
Yes.
yourself in the head, but kind of giving that impression for him so that he knows that you're human.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So does this language kind of help a little bit?
Yes. Very, 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 very much. Thank you.
He's a brilliant kid who has not believed in himself as fully as he could.
I know.
But that's okay, because that's a personal journey that all of us have to figure out for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me how many years with my dyslexia?
Exactly. Yeah. Self-love is the ultimate journey we're on, really.
Mm-hmm. He's very hypersensitive to energies.
Yeah.
Suggest putting a bubble of love around you. That got somebody who told me today, Regan, probably if you talked about me, Natasha mentioned about me putting a bubble of love around me for protection, and because anything that gets filtered through love is not the same. So with that, try putting a bubble of love around you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the rainbow color. I don't know, but just try that. Maybe that might help you so you're not so affected by all this icky stuff out there.
So icky. I know.
So with that, and then leave the room.
Yeah.
So it's not, and then if he wants to have conversation about it, he'll present later.
Yeah.
He's 23.
No, I have to remember that. God,
I know. My kid had to move to New Mexico to get the cords untied. So
how old is he?
She is 24 now.
Yeah, he's 23. Is that your one and only?
No, I have two. I have a 28. I actually have 2.5. I have a stepson that's 32, and then 28, and then a 24.
Wow. Yeah. Parenting.
Yep. It's not an easy dance, but I know that for me that planting seeds is easier than having a conversation. So when I plant seeds of information by just walking by saying, you're looking beautiful today. And then not anything attached to it. I just walk by.
Yeah. I love it.
You know what I mean? So then it's just planting. The intention is to plant seeds and let those seeds grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. Thank you.
Okay, so Oren says, bubble of roses quartz energy can help people chill out. It proves to be yes. I so agree with that. I have found though that people, when they're talking about protection, energetic protection, that they say, I'm gonna let things flow through me. I'm gonna just release it and let it flow through me. And I working in elementary school, I'm not letting half that crap flow through me. But what I do is I put a bubble of love around me. I don't put shields. I don't put armor. I don't put anything. I just put a bubble of, and to me, it's a bunch of rainbows.
Yeah.
The color of rainbows around me. So then it filters what's going on. Now, rose quartz I wear stones. Like I have a citrine that I wear on me, and so I also have stones, and so I can also put like pink is in in the rainbow, so that could be a rose quartz if it wants to be. That could be, um, uh, 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 oh, amethyst. I was looking right at it and I couldn't think of it. There's different stones that can be in that too. So it's just whatever love for me consists of that my team wants me to put there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I say, I'm doing your work. Put it on me and around me and keep it there, because I'm not going to remember to ask you. I'm doing your work. I'm doing spirit work. So
Yeah.
please protect me, put love around me, let me be protected. Okay? Yeah, he's very hypersensitive. He has a friend that he's caring about right now, isn't he? That is pulling him down a little bit.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Wonder if that could be his boss.
It could be. I don't know.
There's somebody that's pulling him down energetically, because everybody's dealing with a bunch of emotions right now, and right or wrong, it's just what it is. And that and it's just being able to know that he doesn't have to be that energy. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
And so that's where, saying that I know a lot of people are going through something. Remember, Natasha just suggested putting a bubble of love around me. And I think that might be good for you when you go into work today.
He'd laugh in my face, but I could say it in a different kind of way. And he's still laughing in my face.
Yes. But that's, I'm giving you a suggestion so that you can replace the words how it fit you. So, because mine is only suggestions. I'm not in the reality. I'm only in the suggestion.
Like, I am with you 110%. He is completely like, no. Spiritual stuff, no. But I know he picks up. That's just him.
He gets it through osmosis. And so, like my husband said to me, you taught me a lot. And I said, you don't even like to listen to me. How would I teach you? He goes, you showed me.
Yeah.
You showed me. And so that's where being does the doing.
Yeah. Yes.
Being does the doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Regan, I think that's a good place we're way over. And I want to get people.
We went way over today.
Yeah. So I hope this was helpful to someone. If you looking for any help, Regan, how do people get a hold of you?
Okay. Well, just saying, anybody listening now, just seeing the two of you interact and the questions, this is how mediums work, and you got a good idea, because we went over so many different things that she was able to help Patti with there, not just one thing, but had a good overview. And I know some of the things you were saying was just totally right on, because I know Patti right here, so I know how it's just good. So thank you, Natasha, for doing that. Okay, to get a hold of me, if any of you want to have a trip to the afterlife, to find out why you were born, why you chose to have this life of difficulty, you can find that out by having a Life Between Life session. I'm on the board of the Newton Institute, and try to help people every week to have this beautiful experience. It's easy. It's something that 90% of the people have a really good experience at. And if you find me at my website listed there in front of me there, visittheafterlife.com. There's a lot of videos and things. I'm giving away a couple free books on there right now. One's called 3 Hours, 33 Minutes in Heaven, about my experience on the other side. And another one called Reincarnation is Real. All you have to do is contact me on the contact page. Be happy to send you free copies. So that's me. What about you, Natasha? How do they have a session like you just did with Patti today?
Well, you can reach. I'm going to ask Pat before we go there. I'm going to ask Patti, how can people get a hold of you? I know that you do real estate in the California area, and I know that you have, this wonderful gift of integrity and movement towards helping women of our world. And not that you men don't need help too. That's where when us women get stronger, we help you men. And so it's a circle that goes around. So how can we get a hold of for you and your scenarios that you go into?
Yeah. Well, I sell real estate in Marin County, California, and I have a network of agents all over the country. And I'm at Patti, P-A-T-T-I .Cohn, C-O-H-N, at compass.com, 415-722-4842.
Thank you. And I think that, and then the other scenario for the women.
Oh yeah, the
How
She
do,
Fund again. Just
Oh,
mention that one more
She
time.
Fund. She Fund. That's SHE, like Safe House Education Fund, She Fund, Fund. And that is how you can save African girls from Kenya from FGM and early marriage. And
From
we,
female
yeah,
genital mutilation.
yes.
yes.
And we send them through college. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not, I could not imagine that part of my body not being mine.
I know.
That just, it's scary. It's scary.
Yeah. And not even
So,
existing.
yeah. Yeah. That just, okay.
Yeah,
That's why I don't get involved, because I can't deal with that. It would zap me.
Yeah.
For my energy.
And
And
what
I send love, and I'm asking for healing on this. I am asking for healing on this. I'm asking for healing on this. That's so with that. So how you can reach me is at angelicclarifications.com, or Natasha at angelicclarifications is my email. I am so grateful when I can support someone through some kind of movement. Life is right now hitting a lot of us, and it's really doing us in a way, and I'm just wanting people to know that they have value, and whoever they were in the past is not who they have to be in the future. So with that, please, I would love to help you through past life work, through shame and guilt and just grief, whatever is in front of you. I have an understanding. If I didn't do it in this lifetime, I did it in other lifetimes, and I go there to get a different understanding. So blessings with you. I do hope this works and this helps. Regan and I will be here next week at 4:00 Pacific time. Thank you, Patti, for coming.
Thank you.
It is
So nice.
so nice to see you. And I know that your grandfather has come in many a different times. And,
Yeah. I just love that you got that. Yeah. Thank
No.
you. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I totally get who you are. What a gift.
Thank you. And with everything that is going on, that we're all working where we're at and doing what we can do. And life is what it's going to be. And so thank you all for being here. And I'm live on Wednesdays, Mondays and Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, it's Life Clarifications with Natasha, and I work through basically a lot of things. I've had conversations about being triggered. I've had conversations about grief. I've had conversations about our emotions. One day I had a situation happen right before I came on, and I showed how to navigate through that. So I'm about dealing with life. So blessings. Regan, thank you. Patti, thank you.
Oh, that went fast.
Yes, we will see each other again.
Thank
See
you.
Bye now,
everybody next
everyone.
week.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.